Hey everybody, welcome. This is Coach Jim. I'm on yet again. Having blessing to have Jen Rogers from Mic Drop Mastery with me. We're going to do our second coaching session. It's been 2 weeks actually. So Jen, that being said, I'll describe to everybody what we're going to go over, but it's been 2 weeks and I'm just curious, how are you feeling today regarding our second coaching call and the fact that you have to do a sales role play with me?
I'm nervous. And so it's interesting. In my prayer time this morning, I always ask for one thing for each day. And
Mhm.
I asked for a spirit of curiosity and a spirit of humility, and to walk away with giving and receiving value from our coaching call today. Uh, I dressed the part, said high ticket sale. I'm going to wear my dress, curl my hair, all of that. But I'm a little bit nervous, and the irony is, I feel as though my reputation is on the line. The way it's like you flip the script on me, because it's the very same thing when professionals who have proven offers want to do a podcast. They get nervous about
Yeah,
messing up their brand, and I
right.
that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm like, oh no. What are we doing today? And I'm delighted to be here. I am nervous, and that's what I've got for you today. This is not about podcasting at all.
Right.
We're going to talk
So,
very little about podcasting, I know.
right. So, and that being said, first of all, welcome, Steve. I appreciate you making it live. So, for anybody who's listening to the recording, who's not going to catch us live, let me explain to you what I did. About a month ago, I made an offer to my group on Substack. And I basically or to the public on Substack, I said, look, anybody who wants a free coaching session. Well, Jen was one of the only ones who had the guts to reach out and do it in public and say, hey, I'll do this. So we got to know each other over a period of time, and then, but to get to know each other, I did everything in my power to learn as little as possible about her, so that our first coaching session, the intent was with her. She has a higher ticket offer, and I'm going to have her describe that very detailed in a little bit, in just a couple of minutes. But it basically deals with podcasting. I'm going to say it deals with business and using podcasting as a tool to have a successful business, but it's not just podcasting. So what I wanted to discuss with her was her high ticket offer. And I was going to have her, and she communicated to me what it was. She was selling me, and she was going to sell me to the point where at the end of the hour coaching that we had 2 weeks ago, I had to be good enough to be able to repeat back to her what she was selling. And I was blessed to, my goal was always, the people who I'm coaching don't know this, and well, you will now, but the people who are blessed don't know this. At the end of that call, when I repeat back basically your program to you, I'm always hoping, praying that the person will say, I'm sold on their own program. They're resold on it. And I was blessed enough that Jen said, I'm sold. Like she felt the difference. That's what we're going to, so what we're doing today is the second part of this call.
Mm.
She had a couple of weeks to practice. Now, Jen has been extremely busy with lives, but you've been keeping up with her. So it's been very hard. She's not necessarily studying all this, and she doesn't have 25 sales calls a week like I used to have. So it's not like she's a professional salesperson. That's what we're here to help people who are not professional salespeople improve their offer, how they communicate that offer. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, that being said, I'm not going to throw her into the hot seat. I'm not going to throw her in a fire and make her just do the whole presentation for me. We're only going to be discussing the offer. At the end of this call, at the end of the live, Trauma doesn't have to look. It doesn't have the look. So hello, I don't know what your real name is. Hi, Trauma. Thank you for joining us. What we're going to do is we're going to discuss the offer. And at the end of the call, if you have questions, hang with us, because I will be answering briefly. There are different portions of a call and why people usually don't have to answer sales objections when you have the offer correct. And that's what Jen and I are going to discuss now. I will explain to you about the discovery portion, how to lead into this before anybody even gets on a sales call, and how to handle sales objections a little bit at the end. I won't get into it's a multi-day training, but I'll give you all the brief hints, and Jen will be able to walk away with all this at the end of this. So, Jen, that said, here's what we're going to do. So before we dive into this, so everybody knows what they're going to be hearing, describe a little bit about your high ticket offer. You have a high ticket offer well, I'll let you describe it. So you have a range within your high ticket offer. Describe a little bit what you offer. Don't do it in my words. Don't do it. Just describe the basics of it, and then we'll start the sales process.
So not the thing I've been rehearsing over and over again, just
Just do the 20-second intro at the networking event that you don't sell it. Don't tell the offer. Just explain the basics of what it is that we're going to be teaching.
Yeah, you know how somebody says, I think I should start a podcast, but they don't know where to start. They're
Right.
afraid of all of the tech overwhelm, the YouTube diversity, all of that. And
Right.
they're also afraid that if they release a podcast, they're going to be exposed in the sense
Mhm.
of, will their podcast truly reflect their brand? Well, that's what I'm all about. I'm here to protect your brand and to help you create a podcast that will position your brand and your authority in a highly visible context and save you time creating content.
Great. Thanks. So I appreciate. So if everybody understands, this is what we're going to be talking about now. So what we're going to do is, Jen, we're going to assume now you're going to tell me to help the audience too. In order for me to role play with you, I've got to be a customer. I've got to be someone who says, "Hey, I'm interested in doing that, but I really don't know what I'm getting into." So we will have discussed. You will have been asking me questions, and we're not going to go through those. But you will be asking, get to know who I am. Hey, I live in Las Vegas. I've been doing sales for 4. But so I tell you about who I am in this discovery portion. So Jen will have done that already. She said, "Okay, basically, you're ready to hear a little bit about what I have to offer?" I'm saying yes. So we're going to take it from there. Jen is now going to just start to discuss. For those of you who are just learning about me, I describe sections of your offer as pillars. I'll explain that a little bit more detail as we go along, but Jen is going to start to describe her offer to me, and she's going to start with, Jen, all you're going to do is worry about that first pillar that we talked about.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't have those pillars. What I have steps. I turned them into steps. I came up with 4
Go ahead. Go through steps
steps.
then. Go through your
Okay.
first step.
Okay. A misdiagnosed symptom. So
Okay.
this is not going to go in line with the pillars. Now I have to remember what the pillars were.
Well, so you're describing your offer to me. Does the 4 steps describe the offer to me? I'm interested in learning about what you have to offer me.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
describe that to me?
So if I were to come up with the pillars, I help you create the business assets you need for a converting podcast. And we do that together, working one-to-one, so you don't get sucked into the overwhelm and you can launch your show in 90 days or less, depending on the speed of which you want to work. So you don't need to worry about the tech. You don't need to hire a graphic designer.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to create podcast art and 3 converting podcast episodes along with the trailer by the end of our 90 days working together.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to go.
Okay. So let me. So because that's how you described it to me first. You described the first time on our first call. You described, and that's what you started to explain. Now, she didn't describe, just so you know, in the first call, she didn't quite describe it that way, and she used some words differently than she did the first time.
Right.
So yes, the coaching, she has absorbed the coaching. Just out of curiosity, though, because and folks, I didn't guide her on this on purpose. So if you're going to hear me asking questions, because I purposely wasn't trying to give her any information about the second call. You said you wrote down 10 steps, but then you said something about 4 steps.
I wrote down, so I have 10 key things that make me, why working with me is different, what makes me unique about helping you launch your podcast. And then I had 4 steps. So if we were to talk about, hey, okay, so how do I even put something together that's going to work? I've already created this great genius content. Why do I need to put it in a podcast? What's the benefit of doing that? So there are 4 steps to doing that.
Okay, now I'm interested in doing a podcast. I've got all this content. I've got 40 years worth of content. I don't know. Should I do a podcast? Is that a good lead in for you to start to describe those 4 steps?
I would say typically when you're on the call with me, you do want to do a podcast. You know that you do, but there's still some underlying doubts about whether or not it's the right thing for you, but you think you want to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's perfect.
Okay.
So look,
Okay.
I know, I think I want to do a podcast. I don't necessarily want
Yeah.
to be the next Joe Rogan, but I do want to have something that helps my business grow.
Uh-huh.
Where would we start? How would I work with you?
Yeah, well, first off, I know you don't want to be Joe Rogan because I've read about your beige pants and I've read about the amount of time you want to spend in your business. I've also read about how you want to help people, how you want to serve people. So you're putting limits around it. You're playing around on Substack and deciding, okay, what do I want to do with these tiers, which is completely not high ticket coaching, which is what you're about. So I know you want to help entrepreneurs with their high ticket packages so they can sell more of them and do it the right way. So what we would do is we would take all your genius, the articles that you've written, all the other things that you've done already, and identify what are the top 10 things that keep coming up. So if people had these 10 pieces of practice, not just intel, not just information, but if they
Okay.
could refer to 10 pieces of what you do well, would that move them forward in their business? And we're going to assume that it will. And that's what creating the podcast would do. You would identify, oh, Jen, these are the things that people struggle with ad nauseum. So if I can create some resources that will exist and be part of my legacy long after I don't want to show up anymore at all on social, what would that content be? And that's where we would start in creating during our 90 days of working together. So that's where I'm going to go.
So a lot of what Jen just did was she's obviously now I realize that we were in a coaching session already, but if you pay attention to the way she described, assuming she didn't know who I was when I got on this call and she's doing a sales call, she asked me all those questions before we got to this part of the offer. So she's learning about who I was and she's repeating it back to me to make sure that I'm in agreement with her. So that's a massive thing before you start to describe the offer or as you're starting to describe the offer is make sure the person understands that you understand them, that they feel heard, they feel known. That's what she just did with me. So, okay, Jen, so we're going to go back in the role play. Okay. What's that going to look like? If I start working with you, how do we do this? What am I going to experience?
Yeah, well, the first thing is to determine what is your capacity. So when you think about launching a podcast
Mhm.
and knowing that, hey, we can do this in 90 days, what do you think that looks like? Let's start there and then I can respond to that. So what do you think time capacity commitment wise that means for you?
Well, I don't know. What do I need for a podcast? I mean, I currently can work easily 20 hours, 25 hours a week right now.
Okay, well, working together, we need 3 to 4 hours a week, so it's like the jet fuel on an airplane
Okay.
that you're gonna put more fuel up front, so we'll have more intensity up front, working together one-on-one, and then there'll be work that you do that augments our one-to-one coaching sessions. So on average, 3 to 4 hours a week to get your podcast launched in 90 days.
Oh yeah, sure. No problem. I mean, like I said, I currently am contributing or giving myself 20 hours a week for my business. This would be part of that. That sounds
Okay,
fantastic. So if I heard you
okay.
correctly, part of working with you is I'm actually going to get one-on-one sessions with you. It's
Absolutely,
I'm not
absolutely.
I'm not going to get just a bunch of courses and videos. I'm actually getting you working with me and even deeper.
Well, that depends. Let me ask you this. Are you in that top 3% that actually completes a course in a Dusty Course library?
Actually, I'm one of the weird ones. Yes, I am.
Yeah, well, we still don't want that, Jim. We still don't want that. I do have some resources that I will share with you, so it's good that you do complete those. So I have some resources that you can sit down and say, "Okay, I'm gonna spend 60 minutes, I'm gonna go through this, I'm gonna get the insight that I need to create a converting podcast episode." And then
Okay.
I'm gonna practice it. But it is one-on-one, it's not a Dusty Course library, and that's why, uh, the this package is a limited package that I only take so many clients at a time because I need to
Okay.
focus on you because we're in it together.
Okay. So am I working with you 3 to 4 hours every week
Oh, that's a
for 90
great
days?
question. We'll meet one-on-one, an hour a week, and you'll have the additional, however you're working through on what we identify you need in the coaching. And in between calls, if we need to hop on a Zoom call real quick, say, Jen, hey, I need to talk with you about something.
Okay.
We'll hop on a Zoom call real quick, or you can Voxer me in between sessions. So you have access to me, even if we're not face to face like we are right now, one to one, but we'll meet at least 1 hour a week, one to one on a call.
Okay. And so this is not me being thrown into a group. One of the benefits of working with you is I get one-on-one attention every week.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. There's no one who does what you do. And so being in a group and trying to strategize really the intimacy of launching a podcast, it's really quite intimate. And there are things that you will not disclose in a group that you will disclose one-on-one, because it's a part of your heart and soul that's coming out in your podcast.
Right.
And that's holy ground right there. I often talk about the 18 inches when your audience is listening to you, from your ears to your heart. But us one to one, there's stuff that's going to come up that would never come up in group. And the best podcasts are created in an intimate environment. So that's why it's one to one, not a group.
Okay. So working one-to-one with you then is allowing me to even understand. I understand you're saying the intimacy of us working one-on-one, but it's the helping me understand what I have to bring to the podcast quicker so that I can actually get it out there instead of me experimenting for 90 days. Like the old webinar people used to do. Say, well, here, start a webinar. Good luck.
Yeah, we are experimenting, but we're in the lab together, and we're using specific beakers, and we're using specific ingredients to create a highly converting podcast episode. So each episode is designed to convert. Each episode is customer. So when they get on the call with you, they're already a yes. That you haven't even talked to them, they're already a yes. And that's why we draw from your expertise in that. So we're in the lab, but it's a very intentional lab.
Okay, great. So that's actually a big word that you just said for me, though. So I'm the goal behind the podcast, again, the big word is converting. This isn't just having a podcast where I'm out there and hoping to get a sponsor every once in a while, or some ad dollars, or occasionally getting someone on. You're helping me design a podcast that converts people from prospect or interested to an actual client. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. So what else is going on then? How is this what else are we going to cover? That's awesome. I mean, I get some one-on-one. You're going to help me understand the conversion side of it and help pull more out of me personally. Is there anything else?
You remember when you were telling me about how you don't want to be in that room anymore where you're coaching 21-year-olds on a sales script? Because when they go off the rails and they make one or two sales, they get really cocky. And then you have to bring them back. And you said, look, I don't want to wrestle 21-year-olds anymore. Remember that conversation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm here to wrestle you. I'm here to keep you, the guardrails on you, to ensure that you're keeping your commitment to yourself. So during the time that we work together, there will be times where you will want to walk away from the project. There will be times where you will wonder, is this really going to work? There will be times that you'll be concerned about your reputation and how it's playing out when you create a podcast episode. Is it really going to land for my ideal clients?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to hold you accountable to what you said to your yes, and to assure you during those times that always come up, no matter what level of entrepreneur we are. We know there's always a wig out point, and I'm here. I'm the de-wigifier.
I think that's legal in most states, right?
I think so. At least 40 of them. And earlier, Jim, I mentioned to you that you're not hiring a graphic designer, for example. So think about when you open up your podcast feed and you see all those pretty pictures on there. There are some that really stand out, and there's a strategy behind your podcast art. And what you do is you approve the final product. I am your graphic designer. I make sure your podcast art matches your brand and the message that you're sharing. And you have final approval on, Jen, I want this one. I want this one. Can we make a little tweak here? That sort of thing. And then together we come up with, here is your final podcast art. So you have that. And then you have You have 4 episodes, 1 trailer and 3 episodes that are fully produced, so you don't have to go. I know you hire out all your admin stuff. I know you don't wanna do your own admin stuff.
Right.
So, I guess I'm a bit of an admin too to take care of the production piece for you, so your episodes sound good, crisp, and land with your ideal clients. That production piece is taken care of for your first 3 episodes and your podcast trailer, which are critical when you go out the gate.
Okay. Cool. So out of role play for a second, folks. I'm pumped. Now I'm going to
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
Okay. Couple things. One, it might be my internet because I moved my office. Every once in a while you're lagging. Not you. You don't know that you're lagging, but you're lagging. So all I'm saying is I apologize ahead of time if it's my internet and it goes out because I've been having problems. Okay. Coaching wise, Jen, when we discussed the you're going to help me convert, and then you're going to hold the accountability, and then you describe the graphics, and then you describe the production. Okay, first of all, it's 3 separate things. Slow down and let me catch up with one or the other. In other words, like when you said graphic design, the
Okay.
graphic design stuff, I was like, oh wait, so you're gonna, because I had a couple questions with the graphic design, but then you said production, and now my head wasn't thinking about graphic design. So the graphic design stuff, you're going to actually help me with staying on brand, designing the graphics with me, making sure it works. And I get the final choice, I get, but that's a massive thing. I don't have to worry about that. Now, somebody else listening, you all might be more do-it-yourselfers. I'm primarily actually a do-it-yourselfer, but if I can hire out, I'd rather hire professionals. But Jen is actually offering that to me. Whether I'm a do-it-yourselfer or not, it allows me to understand that a professional is offering me graphic design for podcasts and making it stand out on a page. If you're scrolling Spotify or Apple, iTunes, or whatever it's going to be, that's going to make me stand out. That's a big difference between having that and just having a thumbnail of a cartoon or something that some people may have. So Jen, let me catch up with that. So when you say that, after you offer me one thing, stop and ask, do we have any questions about that?
Okay.
Allow me to catch up, so I understand the graphics side now, and because of time, I'm just going to hop ahead for the production side. Okay, so you're going to do the production. And does that mean I'm recording with you in the background? I don't know anything about production, like how to make it other than talking to a microphone on a computer. How does the production side, what does that entail? Because here's my concern. Now again, I'm out of role play still, so here's my concern. The real question I'm getting to that I'm not asking you, if I'm in role play, what does that look like? How does it sound like? What am I going to have to do? All those questions, what it really means is, am I going to be able to do this production stuff on my own because you're a professional and I'm not? If you're doing it for me, am I going to be able to do it on my own? Sales, that's where the sales secret comes in, because people don't ask the right questions. I'm giving you answers. I'm asking you questions, but I'm not guiding you to what I'm really trying to ask. The real deep question is, can I do this on my own, or do I need a production crew? So be aware of that as you're talking about it, which is why you want to stop and say, production wise, now that we just discussed a little bit of production, I'm going to do a trailer and 3 episodes for you. Do you have any questions with that? Now I'm back in role play. Yeah, actually I do. Can I do this on my own? Because if you're doing a production for me, this is in role play.
Yeah.
If you're doing a production for me, I don't know what that looks like. And can I do it on my own?
Yeah, you absolutely can do it on your own. Based on our previous conversations, you probably won't want to do it on your own, and I can guide you to some producers who can take care of that for you at a low investment price for you. So it's not a significant investment, not like this here is working together over our 90 days. So it's a much smaller investment to hire a producer. That being said, one of the things I work with on clients is I show them the production process, because I believe you need to know what you're paying for. You need to have an understanding of what the production process entails. The great thing is, just like you've experienced here on the Substack Lives, you get all these resources that come to you, and you don't have to do much with them.
Right.
So let's say you sit down and you record your first converting episode. Record it, you follow the framework that we've worked on, you incorporate the things that we've worked on together.
Mhm.
And then you say, "Hey, Jen, it's ready." Then I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to review it with a fine comb. And what I mean by that is I'm going to identify, just like what you're doing for me here, I'm going to identify here's an area where we need to sharpen. Here's something we need to completely cut. And I'm going to show you how I do that and how I know. I'm going to give it to you for feedback, answer your questions, and then I'm going to edit it again. So you sit down and you record the episode and you send it to me. I give you professional feedback on it. And then we incorporate whatever changes we want to, and you send it back to me, and I edit it for your first episode. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. So then my concern would be how many, if that's going to be edited, if you're going to go through it with a fine tooth comb and it's edited, and say I mean, if I screw one episode up 3 times, like how many times can I screw up an episode and you're still willing to work with me, or decide, hey Jim, maybe podcasting isn't for you. So
Based on the work you've already done, I already know podcasting is for you. You're essentially podcasting. You keep your commitments. So I know that as many times. So let's say you strike out at the bat 6 times. Well, the 7th time, we're going to get it done. We're going to do what it takes to get it done, because once you get the first one done, you've got your podcasting voice that's starting to come in. So you've got
okay,
your sea legs to say, "Oh, okay, I think I know what to do next." So the feedback that you get on the subsequent episode will be significantly less because you will have understood what happened in the first episode.
great. Okay, so out of role play, the questions that I was just asking you, it's me showing you that I'm having some fear about the fact that maybe podcasting isn't for me. So be aware of that. If you're in a sales call, be aware of that. So I'm starting to raise up red flags. I'm thinking this might be a little bit too hard. I'm going to screw up. She basically said she's going to have to go with the fine tooth and edit it. And I'm like, I don't know. Can I do this in 3 or 4 hours a week? Am I going to be the problem client that causes her to have to work 10 hours a week with me? All these thoughts possibly are going on in the person's head that you're listening to. So be aware of that. And by the way, I realize I'm lagging too, folks. And by the way, Todd, thank you for joining us. I saw you joined us a while ago. So Jen, be aware that these are all possible questions. The surface question is never really the surface question. There's always something else going on. So yeah, you would have to
Right.
reinforce. And one of the things to do when you're reinforcing, do you remember in the first coaching call, I had a tendency to keep repeating. I'd go back to pillar 1, then I'd repeat pillar 2, then I'd repeat pillar 3, and I'd keep repeating the same stuff over and over again back to you. I was reselling you on, now, even though it was your program, I was reselling you on your program. I was reselling you, reminding you. So in this case, I'm going to have you go back and repeat everything from the beginning. What am I getting? Which is, I'll let you decide how many pillars it is. I describe them as pillars, but you describe the steps and pillars. So just go back and help me. Okay, I'm a little concerned about production. Oh, you can help me. It's cheap. You can get me a professional producer. It's not really expensive. I got all that. And editing the first time, and once I get my voice, it's going to be a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm back on board now. So before you move on, let's go back and review in the sales process. So back in role play now, you're going to go, okay, Jim. So just to help you, you're going to say to me what we've covered so far is, and then just go ahead from there.
Okay. Phew. Sweating. Jim, what we've covered so far is the ability to create a converting podcast. All stems from us working privately one-to-one together, so that when you have concerns about, can I really do this? You have access to me. So you'll have access to me throughout the process. One-to-one, reach out to me anytime, and I'll get back to you to make sure you stay on track. You will know what it is that you're going to be talking about. You already know what you do well. The thing is when we put it in the podcast, quote unquote, funnel, we wig out a little bit and say, wait, how do I put this together?
Yeah.
So I'll be here to remind you that this is the step. This is the next step. No matter how many takes, we're going to do it in the takes that it requires. So you build up your confidence episode after episode. So every coaching is going to increase because you're going to have a deeper awareness of, oh, okay, this is the way we're going to go. And podcasting is, we have the ability for you to really show up in the way that makes the most sense for you. So you're not fitting into some cookie cutter process. I don't have a map. Okay, I stick everybody here. I've got oh, this is what I know about Jim. This is what he said. This is the direction that he wants to go. This is the offer that he has that he's leading his clients to. And his clients find him because they search for keywords in the podcasting apps. They see your beautiful art come up and say, tell me more. They hit the play button on episodes. That's what you're walking away with. You're walking away with a podcast that converts by ensuring that it attracts your ideal clients. It's very clear on what you're offering, and the episodes are produced in a fashion that's really, it sounds like a lot of work, but really a relatively simple process with all of the tools that we have available to us now. So it's not like podcasting in the old days.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still in role play. Wait, hold on a second. You just told me about all these keywords. What's this keyword stuff now? I got to learn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, when you want your teeny bopper to do something, you have to put a lure out there to make sure that they do that thing. It's kind of like that you are going to put the worm out there so that the fish come and say, oh, yeah, I want a bite of that. So your keywords, when you think about your expertise, how would you define your expertise? What do people come to you for? What pops up for you automatically?
Oh, for me personally, high ticket sales, coaching sales.
We're still in role play. Yes, for you personally.
Well, no, I meant I seriously, I was in role play. I didn't know if you were talking about me. So yeah, high ticket sales, high coaching, high ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but when you're saying the keywords, I mean, am I doing SEO on this? Is this like the old SEO days?
It's not like the old SEO days. So those keywords, your ideal clients, the problems that you solve, those strategically use in the titles of your episodes and in the description of your episodes. So that, again, when people look, they first come, would it be okay if I backed up just a hair to walk you through a simple process of how somebody would find you on your podcast?
Are we in role play?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure, go ahead.
This is hysterical.
I told you it's going to be fun.
So I am interested in high Okay, I am interested in high ticket coaching sales, and I've been looking around. I've been searching who's really good at this, and your name came up. So I put your name in the podcast app, and I found that you had a podcast. It looks like you might have something to say. So I found you. I see your art, and now I'm looking at your podcast description. What is this? Is this really the podcast I want to listen to? And I read that and I say, oh, yeah, I want this. Then I go and I look at your episodes and I see you have 5 episodes out right now. And one of them is about marketing. One of them is about misdiagnosed symptoms, the things that you're doing wrong and how to fix them when it comes to high ticket sales, something like that. So they're looking at that title and they're saying, I want that. And they click. That's where SEO comes. That's where the worm is. That's the SEO. They're saying, oh, I want that. I want that. So you'll use words that your clients are saying and we'll insert them in podcast descriptions, in the titles, etc. That's SEO.
Okay. Out of role play, Jen, has anybody ever taken you down that path that I just said about the keywords?
No.
Okay. Have you ever mentioned so on a sales call, have you ever mentioned keywords ever before?
I don't think I have.
Exactly. It was so here's a challenge. You're offering me more than I need to hear, and it's actually causing me to be more nervous about moving forward because now you're throwing in more details. So when you're going back over your out of role play still, we're going over your summary. Okay, the first thing you're going to help me with, 1, we're going to help you create a podcast that isn't just a converting podcast. It's a podcast that converts listeners to closing of sales. Two, we're going to make sure you do it and you do it as fast as possible. You're not going to be thrown into a course. You're actually going to be getting one-on-one attention with me every single week to make sure we get into the details. Those details are going to be me helping you find your voice, me helping you set up the podcast so it's going to be something for you to communicate. Along the way, we're also going to be figuring out just your artwork. So how you show up on a scrolling, people are scrolling Spotify or iTunes, right? So however they're scrolling. So the artwork is going to make you stand out too. And it's going to make sure, I'm going to make sure personally with you that it's on brand and it actually helps your business. Again, so you're converting the listeners from before they even listen, but just by the visuals. I'm going to actually do those graphics for you. So that's going to help. And then another piece of this puzzle is we're going to make sure you get a trailer and your first 3 episodes are professionally produced and I'm going to work with you on them so that as you practice and you do your first episode, I'll make sure I go through it with a fine-tooth comb, figure out how to say and what not to say, help you refine it in such a way that's going to allow, again, the client to go from the prospect, the person listening, to go from listener to someone who wants to raise their hand and say, hey, I want more. How can I go through this more? So you're helping me with creating a podcast that converts people from listener to a client. Second, you're going to help me make sure I do it one-on-one. You're going to do one-on-one attention with me. You're not going to throw me into a group where I get lost and I may or may not ask a question or I miss the coaching call or whatever that problem might be that typically happens in group coaching. You're going to get one-on-one attention. 3, you're going to help me with the graphics to make sure it's on brand and keeps me moving forward in a way that's going to be visually descriptive of the brand, as well as helping, again, move people to, yes, I'm interested in listening and to be discovered. 3rd, I'm going to make sure it's professionally produced, not only your trailer, but your first 3 episodes. Professionally produced in a way that's going to make you sound fantastic your first 3 episodes. By then, you will have learned how to do this on your own, and you can progress from there. Now, you see, all I did was repeat what you just said. But if I just said the word keywords in there, I was like, wait, where's the keywords come from? What you did was you threw me a curveball and it caused me stress. Not me personally, but I mean, it's going to cause stress.
Yeah, no, I get that. You make it sound so easy. And this is, this is why I'm in the Encore Society. So there's that.
Okay, yeah. And again, the only reason
goodness.
it may sound easy is because I've been doing this for 40 some years. And by the way, the 21-year-olds she was talking about wrestling with is when I was training sales teams. There were teams of people, not just one-on-one coaching like this. So making it sound easy is just because I've sold hundreds of different things. You just like you make podcasting sound really easy because you know it, you do it, and you can communicate it. Because we're in the process of a sales call and you're teaching me your offer. And by the way, folks, please understand, I've changed her offer from 2 weeks ago to what it is now. She's trying to take notes and there's a lot of things going on with this. So she will be very smooth at this also. I'm just repeating from experience, that's all. But she's going to be able to do the exact same thing after one or two sales calls, just like I would be able to do a podcast after her professionally producing 3 podcasts for me and the trailer for me. So, Jen, does that make sense now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, yes, that's what I do. Why do I make it so? Here's part of what's going on. Is that it goes back to what you and I talked about earlier. We don't understand all the things that we do, and we make light of those things. Like, oh, it's just a little thing. And so it feels like, oh, well, maybe you need to know more about this. And I understand analytically why that doesn't work. But in it, I'm thinking, oh, it's like you forget, you devalue the work that you do. That's what I'm experiencing. Oh my gosh. When you say it, I mean, I'm a professional podcaster. I want that. It's like what we talked about earlier. I'm like, yes, of course. It's a no-brainer.
Sure.
But when I say it, I'm chunky, clunky monkey. I'm like, well, I don't know. Well,
and again, you know it. But when we sell our own stuff too, the other tendency is, the the 42 other steps that's in the background that I have to do.
Right.
If you told me about all of them now, I'm not going to buy. I can't do that. That's too much.
Right.
So,
Right.
by the way, hi Florence, hi Jenny for joining us. But the problem is we have a tendency to want to overshare everything. Oh yeah, I'm really good at keywords too, and I'm really good at this, and I'm really good at that. And you're really good at all these things. And when you mention them all, it overwhelms the person who's listening to you. Mm-hmm. What I really want is, especially if I'm a high ticket sales coach and I want to help people learn how to sell high ticket, the only thing I told you I really want is if I'm going to do podcasts, I want the podcast to be functional, useful, and turn a stranger into someone who raises their hand. And one of the best things you said on this call, and I am a big believer in, and I would say the same thing in sales. I want the person so pre-sold by the time they get to me on a sales call, they're already sold. There's no sales objections, just how do I work with you? You said that, and that's what podcasts do for people. Right. Because the podcast is educating people. So your big thing to focus on with me was go from listener to a person who's already sold. Especially since that's my philosophy anyways. I want someone, before they ever come to me, please don't get on a sales call with me. I don't want to sell you. I want you to be, I'm ready for this. That's what you told. So that'd be another thing you focus on. So just the big thing for us to remember, anybody listening to this, you're excited about the 100 and some steps that you know. The person you're talking to is excited about one or two things. Let them feel certain. And that's what Jen is doing with me. She's making sure I'm certain. 1, a podcast is for me. 2, it's going to get me results. 3, it's not going to take away from, and she's brought it up. My time is limited based on my own restrictions I put on myself. She's making it as easy as possible for me so I don't have to do it on my own, so I don't have to spend 100 hours to do this. So she hit all of those nails on the head. So Jen, all I was saying, going back to the original, careful throwing in extra items that you offer, or extra ideas, or extra things that we're going to do. It just really comes down to, you show up on a podcast, you show up on the podcast pages, people look at your artwork and they like it.
It's like a gift later on then.
Say that again, please. You broke up.
That's very helpful.
I lost you again. Say it again, please.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just was talking about it. It's like a gift later on, that it feels like a gift when you don't know that it's coming, and you realize how much time something like SEO is saving you.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna give you the roadmap. I'm gonna give you the flywheel for your first 10 episodes, so you don't even have to think about it. But I committed to 3 and a trailer, and that's what my clients experience. But I need to think of it. It's really good. I really need to solidify those pillars. I'm going to go back and listen and say, okay, this is what you're getting, so I don't have to think so hard about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So it's like I said, the big thing is going to be, make sure you're offering them what they said they wanted in the discovery portion of the call. Is where you're like, if that's the first time you ever talk to them, you've got however many minutes, 15 minutes, you might be asking them questions. That's where you're discovering who they are and what do they really want. If that's what you learned, like for instance, if I was a graphic artist, no real need for you to tell me that you're going to do the graphics for me. Unless you would say something, and again, it depends, but you don't have to spend a lot of time focusing on how you do the graphics for me. But
right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm saying I'm a graphic designer. And even if I'm completely wrong, I might be a really bad graphic designer. But one of the things that you could sell is, the interesting thing is, really good graphic designers and what attracts people on a podcast sometimes are two different things. I happen to know what works on the podcast. Graphic designers are really good at designing really cool and good, professional looking things. Sometimes they don't mix. That's one of the things we'll have to discuss if you get involved. But that, I would leave it at that, because now it throws up a curiosity. It's like, wait, really? There might be something out, like, and again, it depends on my arrogance level as a graphic designer or whatever. I mean, it just depends on the person's
Uh-huh.
arrogance, because if they push away from that, they might not have been a great client anyways. But if they're curious,
Right.
like you said you want to be today, and I am every single day, it's curiosity. It's like, oh yeah, well, let me, I really got to learn more about that. That's interesting. That might be the thing I end up focusing on with you if I'm open to that idea. So to keep it just surface
Yeah.
level is the big thing. No need to throw anything extra.
Okay. Helpful.
Good. That's
Okay.
what I'm hoping. Okay, great. All right. So what I'm going to have you do then is I sort of just gave you a quick summary. I'm going to have you repeat back the summary again to me of what you offer. Hint, don't say the word keywords anywhere in there. So, but just repeat back to me what I said to you. What are the basic 3 or 4 pillars that you'd be offering me? And then when we get to this at the end, what we're going to do is I'm going to start describing a little bit about the discovery call and objection handling and why you don't need, I sort of mentioned it already, why you don't need objection handling. But so let's go from here. So tell me a little bit about your offer. Just give me the brief overview, and you can communicate the whole offer to me in less than 3 minutes, I bet.
Okay, so a brief, less than 3-minute, this is the offer.
Forget the 3 minutes, but the concept is all you got to do is summarize what I did. And I think it took less than 3 minutes. It should take you probably about 2.
Okay. 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 You and I are here today because I know you want a highly converting podcast episode, and not just one, but episode after episode. So
Right.
in our work together, we'll create a converting podcast episode. We'll work together one-on-one. So you don't have to worry about missing a coaching call. You don't have to be concerned about, oh no, is it okay to talk about this? The questions that surface for you, the concerns that surface, and they will surface. They're normal. It's normal for this to happen when you're doing a new thing. We'll address those one-on-one. And whether or not we're meeting on our weekly face-to-face call, or you're voxing me, or we're hopping on a quick Zoom call, we're going to make sure that you keep moving forward, because the goal is to create a converting podcast. That's what we're going to do together. And one of the most important aspects is being pleasing to the eye. That's why I am designing your podcast art for you, aligned with your brand. It's very important that we protect your brand. So we're going to work on that. So you don't have to worry about the graphic design of your podcast art.
Okay.
And we're also going to create your 3 converting episodes and a podcast trailer, fully produced. So you don't have to worry about which edit button to push. You don't have to worry about buying any additional stuff. You give me your voice, your message that you want to share with your ideal clients, so that when they listen, they already know you are the coach for them. You don't need a sales call. They're going to say, where's the checkout page? I want to work with you. So that's what we're doing. 3 episodes, 1 trailer, one-to-one coaching over 90 days. So you can ultimately save time on creating content in a way that draws your ideal client to you faster, and you can use again and again. It's evergreen. That's the beauty of podcasting. That's the beauty of showing up with your voice. How does all that feel?
Perfect. So, and now out of role play, Jen.
Okay.
You summarized everything, and then right at the very end, you re-summarized everything. And the repeat was perfect. So catch the last 20 seconds, wherever this is in the video, about 48 minutes.
Okay.
48 minutes in. So from 48-minute mark, you repeated, you basically summarized the second time, but you really focused on me, what I wanted, which was fantastic. It was exactly what your client wants. So it was a great summary at the end. So yeah, you've nailed it. That's exactly. I mean, other than, again, you'll work on the comfort level, because right now you're on the spot. If you were talking to a real client, you wouldn't feel, there would be no nerves. You'd be comfortable. But because you're quote unquote on the spot, you're trying to think of how to say things, and you caught yourself saying the word episode, and you didn't mean episode, you meant all your podcasts. You'll hear that when you said it, but it's, again, not a big deal. So no, dead on. That's exactly it. And the big thing is, you understood how to highlight what it is that I'm looking for, and the reason why a podcast would be beneficial, and the fact that it's a very professionally done. This isn't podcasts are us. Good luck. Go through the store, pick up what you want, put it up wherever you want. You're going to make a gazillion dollars, just putting a microphone in front of your face. Good luck. Like the so many courses that were out there when podcasting first came out. So yeah, very professional, very personal, awesome job. So you did great.
Well, thanks for that. I'm a little curious how I'm going to feel watching the replay, but it'll be good. It'll be good. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm going to take what I need so I can talk about what I do in a way that makes sense for people without them worrying about all the buttons to push and levers to pull. Because you and I know there's always stuff that goes on that you never talk about up front. So we understand that. So interesting. I'm looking forward to the replay
Good.
and practicing.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well, and like I said, the practicing part of it will be, so first of all, I practice my sales scripts a lot. Even when I'm driving and stuff, I'm constantly figuring out how I say things better. How can I ask better questions? How can I listen better? It's just the way I was wired, or taught myself to be wired. But so I'm going to hop forward now. And again, for anybody listening, this is for all of you now. This is for Jen too, but this is for all of you. This is beyond the coaching scope of what Jen originally signed up for here. So now Jen actually said this. In her case, a podcast is a great way for people to get to know who you are. Whatever your marketing is going to be, whether it's a Substack and you're writing articles, whether you're doing lives, whether you're doing YouTube channels, Instagram, whatever it is, your goal with your marketing is to help communicate what it is that you do for people, which is actually your offer. The one big focus I have for people is less about sales and more about learning how to communicate your offer, which is actually sales. But if I say the word sales to too many people think that I don't want to be a salesperson. You're absolutely right. You should not be a salesperson.
Yeah.
You should be someone who's just communicating what your offer is. And you passionately communicate that offer. The sale happens. I'm not saying, now for some people on here, I realize it might be, it's different. It's a little bit different for everybody. But ultimately, if you're learning how to communicate your offer and then your offer is communicated in a way that is so clear and so concise, and it helps people understand, if I work with this person, if I work with Jen, I'm going to get this. Before I ever get on a sales call with her or a sales page or sign up checkout page or whatever, that's always going to be important. But again, understand your offer. And people don't typically understand their own offer. Even people, I worked with somebody I helped the client go from 6 figures to 7 to 8 figures. But her and her husband didn't understand their offer as well as when they brought me on to be the sales coach for their teams. And I came back and communicated their own offer. And they said the same things. Like, you just sold us on our own offer. And it's like, we didn't know because they're so into it themselves. They know what they're doing, but they didn't realize the value, how to communicate it. So that's why the offer is so important for everybody. That's your marketing. Once you have a great offer, you can basically market it. That doesn't mean you're selling everybody all the time, but you're basically hinting at it. I really wish, because I just read Jen's post, one of her notes on Substack. She just wrote something, and for some reason I can't remember it, but whatever it was, she was basically making an offer to join her paid subscription. And whatever it was that she said was just a minor thing, but it was basically communicating the offer without saying the offer. It was just giving a hint as to what people struggle with. When you understand what people struggle with and you communicate it, that's the offer. And that allows you to do your marketing. When that happens properly, people get to the sale. If they get on a sales call with you, and that's back to the sales call, the discovery portion is you're asking people questions. I will tell everybody here, again, this is where I'm offering, this is me over coaching right now. I'm going to do this on purpose. This is sort of like bringing up the word keywords, which just cause confusion. I'm going to teach a little bit extra here because we have a little bit of time. In the discovery portion, when you're asking people questions, if Jen was talking to me in the beginning, So Jim, where do you live? I live in Las Vegas, family, kids are grown, and I go through all this stuff. And I say the words as an example, and we just bought a house. And I keep going. Oh yeah, we're still in Las Vegas. We moved in Las Vegas, just a different neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And we start talking. If Jen doesn't focus on, wait, you just bought a house. Now, Jen is about to charge me a 4 or 5 figure fee for her coaching. And I said the words, I just bought a house. You probably want to pay attention to that. You might want to, so you stop and make sure you're listening. Oh, cool, you just got a house. Stop. That's a financial concern. I just bought a car. We just came back from vacation. We just, whatever, 2-week vacation in, traveling wherever. All of those things are raising up my hand of why at the end of the call, I may have a money objection. Ask, oh, you just bought a house. These are actual answers I'm going to give you that I picked up on in a call training. Just bought a house. Great. Well, what did you buy the house? Like 3 weeks ago, we just closed. Wow, that's gotta be crazy. It's like a closing cost, everything's done. You're all moved in, everything's good. Yeah. So I start asking them about the money right then and there. I don't tell them what the price is, but I start asking, well, with all that activity going on, are you prepared? I mean, you do know I'm somewhat of a substantial investment. This isn't $100 course. Is that okay? Are we okay to keep talking? Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. They're excited to get on the call, but they're not thinking they just bought a house. Second answer. Oh, you just bought a house. When? Oh, like 2 years ago we moved in. But in their head, they just bought a house. It's 2 years. Oh, cool. So you've been there, you paid a different set of circumstances. You've had 2 years. They're not maybe as financially strapped. Oh, you just went to Europe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. When? Well, last week we just got back. Oh, so your credit card bills might be a little bit high. Whoa, we just went to Europe. Yeah, we just went to Europe and had a great time. When? Last summer. Oh, slightly different story. Just for you to be aware at the end of the call, if a financial thing comes up, you're either aware of it or you handle it ahead of time. And again, I can't get into the big sales aspect of it, but be aware when you're asking people questions. Be aware of the little things they say. And you might have to dig in. The biggest primary objections you're going to face, sales objections, are going to be money. I have to talk to my spouse or partner, which I also typically address in the discovery portion. I usually have that handled. I never have to deal with those at the end because I handle them in the beginning. I have the answers. In reality, folks, now at the end, I'm going to give you the ultimate answer. I've said this every single time. If you've got a clear offer, you've had a discovery session, you understand that they're really motivated and they want to do it. The third big objection is now versus sometime in the future. People think, oh, I just want to do some, I'm interested in doing a podcast. Well, what makes this a now thing for you? Well, I don't know if it's a now thing. I'm thinking about doing it next year. Okay, that changes the whole. That's not a person who has a lot of that's not a person who has a lot of urgency. So if they don't have a lot of urgency, you're probably not going to close them at the end of the call.
Right. Be
aware of that. So, hi, Alan. Thanks for the question. I'll let Jen sort of read that as I keep talking. Those are 3 big objections that hopefully you answer during the discovery. And when you get to the end, you have your answer. Now, let me give everybody the ultimate objection that everybody really has. It's a certainty issue. After they hear the offer, how certain are they that they're going to get the result with you? If Jen was going to sell me a $7,500 course and I was going to be thrown into a group, by the way, I'm anti-group. So if you have groups and you have courses, I'm not against any of these. I'm just going to position myself when I say this. If Jen was going to throw me into a group, I have coaching sessions once a week that I may or may not make because they're not good. They don't fit my timing. I'm not really good at finishing courses because I haven't finished courses in the last 20 years. So if all this was a $7,500 program and I got to the end, I know all this in my head, but I didn't bring them up as objections. It's uncertainty in my head, and I may not even know the reason why. So when you get to the end of a call, it may not be the money. It may not be the spouse. It may not be an urgency thing. It may be they don't feel certain that they can achieve this themselves. Now, in Jen's case, and in my case, I spend a tremendous amount of personal time with you. You don't have to worry about the courses because everything we're going to do is custom made. We're sculpting perfectly what you want sculpted, not what generic courses will do. Jen answers that question by giving you enough one-on-one time, doing some work for you, like the artwork and a production, keeping you on brand, helping you find your voice. All of that is done personally. So when it comes to certainty in Jen's offer, if she's going to charge me $7,500 as an example, I'm way more certain that that's a great investment. Because how much time am I wasting in my sales anywhere from $3,000 to $25,000? If I make a couple $3,000 sales, I've more than made my money back. It's not that hard for me to do the math in my head. The certainty is much higher. So during the discovery portion, assuming your offer is really good and you're communicating it really well in the marketing, by the time someone raises their hand, the discovery portion, make sure you're listening for the little subtle things that could be objections. Typically, money, time, and spouse. Go through your offer and communicate your offer in a way that's very simplified, answers their goals. Don't throw anything extra in, which we all do. Everybody does, because they think it's really cool, but the really cool thing just causes stress. And every sales team has always done that. Every single person on the sales team has done that every single time I've coached, like weeks and weeks. I've 5 years worth of coaching. Every week I had to deal with someone throwing in something extra. So it happens to all of us. And then at the end, the real objection is certainty. Ask them how certain, how comfortable are you that this program makes a lot of sense for you and that you're going to get the result that you want to achieve. Honest. Now, you don't have to ask this question. Again, this is me generically talking. So Jen, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, Jim, I just want to get off the phone with you. I hate you and never want to see you again. And 10 being, yes, I understand that your sales coaching or your Jen's podcasting is going to help me achieve my goals. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? And you can't say 7.
Oh yeah, I remember you said can't say 7. I'm a 9. I'm a 9.
Great. So anybody, without, again, I can't get into, because we're running over, going to be running over time here. I'm not going to get into how to handle that and little thing, but bottom line, if she says a 6, start over, or this isn't for them. They have decided this isn't for them. Don't waste your time. It's okay. It's just, it was a lead. It came in. They weren't happy. They didn't catch it. They didn't catch on. They don't understand your offer. No big deal, but don't stress yourself out. Don't take blame on yourself. I didn't close the sale. No, they just didn't understand the offer. It's a 6. They're a 6. They're okay. If it's a 9, yeah, okay. They're above an 8. Anybody above an 8, it's a certainty thing. What's preventing you from being a 10? I would ask Jen. She gives me the answer. Well, it's the money. I got to talk to my husband first. I got to, whatever it is. Now I know it's a certainty thing. And I can work on the certainty to make sure she's comfortable with the decision. Mm-hmm. So I just want to throw those little extra things out there for everybody.
So good.
Coaching call. Jen, I really appreciate you spending 2 sessions with me, because I know it's hard for my wife to talk to me for 2 hours, let alone you. So,
it's been so good. Very helpful. Thank you so much. So good.
Sure. My pleasure. And like I said, Jen, I'll see you in the paid subscription too on our side. We're in each other's groups. Right. So I've been doing a lot of coaching. Oh, and for those of you who are just listening for the first time, the paid subscribers, I am starting my regular coaching, which will be lives, and I'll be doing Q&A. Based on the fact that lives here, it may be Zoom or not. We may bounce back and forth because Zoom seems to not lag as much. It might be my internet. I'm not sure. But bottom line is, I think my membership's like $49 a month or something like that. And I mean, not $49 a month, $49 a year. So if you're interested, hop over there. I'll be doing coaching like this pretty much every week. So you can feel free to ask questions. I'll bring you up as a guest. I'm wide open book. So, and Jen, as you all know, Jen's Mic Drop Mastery. Please feel free to make sure you click on her, make sure you subscribe, click on her link. Go find out what her studio is all about. I definitely joined it, and you'll see me over there too. So that being said, Jen, thank you so
Love it.
much for your time. Okay, everybody,
Thank
talk to
you.
you soon.
So
Thank you.
grateful. Appreciate it.
See y'all,
Bye
folks.
bye.
Bye bye.